You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? So I'm going to tell you guys right now, I have some new setups and layouts going on over here that I am trying to get adjusted to, trying to see what I need to do. It's crazy right now, but the show must go on. So thank you for bearing with me this morning as I got a new monitor here, and it's just, things are kind of weird, right? Where the camera is placed, but we're here. We still have work to do. All right. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. So I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineered to Win. This is the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show, where we review the weekly economic numbers, see how things are going, and then we, that way we can stay informed, make the right decisions instead of letting the people just tell us what it is. We can actually break it down for ourselves. We can have it make sense to us so we can make some wise economic decisions so we don't go blowing a bag for no good reason at all. All right. So I'm going to say hello to the chat real quick, and then we're going to get into work. Okay. So we have in the building already. We got Maddox in the building, says good morning. Good morning to why is it? Whoa, that is huge. Hold on. Give me a second here. What's going on here? Let's go. There we go. There we go. Oh my goodness, it's so long. Hold on. Give me a second. Ooh, what's going on here? Tell you, new setup. Things happen. Who knows what's going on here? Let's make that some smaller. All right, there we go. That is much, much better. So we got Maddox in the building saying, good morning, team. Good morning to you as well, Maddox. And we got your car in the building. What's good, your car? How are you doing this fine early Saturday morning for you? And Maddox says, getting ready for CrowdStrike work at job number 2. Wow. I'm curious, Maddox, what kind of industry are you working in, and what was the impact of CrowdStrike on job number 2? Curious to know, and how have you guys been getting around it, resolving it? Just so you don't have to say what company you work for, but let me know what industry and what kind of role you have. And I'm just curious to know. But yeah, hey, you get to the bag, because as the shirt says, no days off. Let's run it up. All right. So, and if you like this shirt, the shirt is pinned. There's different colors available. You can go and check it out in the store, as well as other items as well. techcoachralph.spreadshop.com. Check it out if there's anything that you like over there, right? So we are going to get to work. Let me go ahead and pull up this. Let me see. Let me go ahead and pull up this LinkedIn. We're going to go over a numbers review, and we should be also going over some Jerome Powell comments. If we'll see if we can get to that. Your car was gonna send me some timestamps, so we'll see if we'll be able to get to that today. All right. So let's jump into our numbers to watch for this week. So let's go to right here, and let me zoom in. Can I zoom in some more on this? Let me see. Nope, no more. All right. So the numbers to watch for this week are, so we got this on Monday. We reviewed it on Monday. We have retail sales take center stage this week amid signs of cooling inflation. U.S. retail sales barely rose in May, according to the Commerce Department, suggesting that price growth was weighing on shoppers. Ugh, been weighing on us for a long time. Thought I close this. Wait a second. Did I close this? Not me. All right. I'll close this too. All right. So in June, however, the consumer price index not only fell on a monthly basis for the first time since the pandemic, it rose at a significantly lower pace from a year earlier. Nevertheless, consumer sentiment is lagging, raising questions about whether spending, which account for 70% of U.S. gross domestic product, will rebound anytime soon. So what we have to go through today is the Commerce Department will release the retail sales report for June, which tracks demands for finished goods such as food, clothing, and furniture in stores and online. So this is like actual products that you're going to be buying, not from the producer price index, the parts or the components, the material that it takes to make these finished products, but the actual finished product. Kind of similar to the consumer price index, which also measures the finished goods as well, right? And then we're going to review the Census Bureau releasing the housing indicators, including the preliminary numbers of building permits issued in June and the number of residential projects that started construction last month. And then lastly, we have the Department of, what we always review, the Department of Labor releasing the initial jobless claims for the previous week. The report, a proxy for layoffs, tracks the number of people filing for unemployment benefits for the first time. All right. So we're going to go through all of that this morning. So let's go back to full screen. I'm going to check the chat, see what Maddox said, and then we are going to jump into our numbers for today. I have our Urban Dictionary of Economics up so that we can reference to make sure we understand what all these things mean. All right. So let me go here and all right. Let's see what Maddox said, and then we're gonna get to work. All right. So Maddox says that junior admin for an appliance company. Make this a little bigger. Working 4 branches today and going out of state for 2 more branches. What? Maddox, if you're a junior admin, imagine when you become a senior admin, you're going to be traveling internationally, fixing these computers and all that good stuff. Just have to touch every PC. So is it, I'm guessing you have to go in and reboot into safe mode and then go into like delete that one DLL file that was causing the blue screen of death, and then the computers are back to normal. Is that what you have to do for every computer? That's really busy, but hey, get to the bag. Let's get it. All right, Matic, no days off. All right. So let's see. All right, cool. So let's get to our first numbers for today. All right, Ed, you know what? I forgot to start our timer. What time is it? Whatever. I'm going to start it right now. Let's put up our timer. We'll go with our 90 minutes. And if we're done early, we're done early, and we get the rest of the day off. Although your car and I got some more work to do later today, but we don't miss. No days off, like the shirt says. All right. So let's jump into, and let's look at this real quick too before we get into our. So let's go here. I'm going to go to here. All right. So we're going to go and take a look at this economic calendar from Bloomberg first, just to see all the different things that are coming out this week. So I'm going to filter this down to clear. We're going to go to United States, US of A, and let's just check all of these right here. Select all. And then let's just do the high level importance. And we get, so Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaks. That was Monday, and we might get to review that because it's like a 42-minute video. So we're not gonna sit there and watch the whole entire thing. But if there's some specific areas of it that we should take a look at, then more than happy to. And then we have our core retail sales. Retail sales, pretty much what we're gonna review. The crude oil inventories, initial jobless claims, and then Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index. But we're going to be reviewing the index jobless claims and the retail sales, and we're going to be looking at the housing indicator as well. All right. So I like to compare what we're getting, and then like we just found the Bloomberg one last week that gives us a nice little calendar of all the and you can filter it down by like what's important, what's not important, stuff like, or less important. Everything's important, but least important. And let's go to, I'm going to just drop this Bloomberg link into the chat as well. Your car, what up, your car? Because we need to review what he said at 1700. I said at 17-minute mark. All right, cool. So let's get through these three real quick, and then we'll jump into the, it says they need to fire the audio engineer. Hilarious. All right, so we're going to jump into that. Let's just review these three real quick, and then we'll jump into that, and we'll spend as much time as we need on that, and then we shall take off for the day. All right, so let's get to the Commerce Department releasing the retail sales. So what I like to do first is talk about what it is, why should we care about it, why it's important, and then we look at the information. All right, so I'm going to, all right, whenever this happens, I have to go to full screen real quick. So Mitch says, no party until Mitch gets here. And you know why he's right? Because, boom, once Mitch is here, it's party time. All right? So let's get back to it. All right? So we are going to take a look at, we're looking at this one, right? Commerce Department report on retail sales. So what is the Commerce Department report on retail goods? The Commerce Department is a part of the U.S. government that deals with business and trade. They put out a report that tells us how much stuff people are buying in stores and online. This stuff is called retail goods. Why is this report important, right? So economic health check. Imagine the economy as a big machine. This report helps us see if the machine is running smoothly or if it needs fixing. If people are buying lots of stuff, it means they have money and feel good about the future. I mean, your car, Mitch, Maddox. Is it a bit strange that if you feel good, then you buy a lot of junk, right? Like, so if you feel good and you buy a lot of junk, then that's a sign of the economy is healthy instead of like using the money wisely. I don't know. That's just me. Jobs. When people buy more things, stores and companies need more workers to make and sell those things. So a good report can mean more jobs. Business decisions. Companies look at this report to decide what to make more of and what to sell. If they see that people are buying a lot of one thing, they might make more of it. So supply and demand. And investments. Investors use this information to decide where to put their money. If retail sales are up, they might invest more in companies that sell goods. So I want to be on number 4, right? I want to be on number 4 and number 3. I don't really want to be on number 1. I feel like, because I feel good, then I'm going to be wasting a bunch of money. All right. So let's see. Why should you care? Why should we care about this report? Right. Even if you're not a business owner or an investor, which I would strive to be one of these, right? This report can still affect you. Here's how. Prices. If people are buying a lot of certain items, the price of the brick goes up because they're in demand. Job market. If the report shows that sales are strong, it means more job opportunities for you and others, and economic stability. A good report means that it means the economy is stable, which can make it easier for families to plan for the future, buy homes, and save money. And here's the thing, right? Because from a drop of a hat, because back in like 2016, 17, all the way up to the beginning of 2020, things were booming. And then at the drop of a dime, a drop of a nickel, everything crashed and burned, but only for a few months because it got better again. But economic stability, and then a year or two later, inflation is through the roof. And
I'm in a bind, Nate.
it's rough out here. It's rough out here. All right. So, in short, the Commerce Department report on retail goods is like a health check for the economy, showing us how much people are buying and helping us understand if things are going well or if there are problems that need fixing. All right. So, with that being said, with that backdrop, let's get into this actual report. So, advanced monthly sales, June of 2024, $704.3 billion, revised May, $704.5 billion. So it was revised to a 0.3% difference, and there was no change in June. All right. So percentage change in retail and food services sales from the previous month. Let's see. So this one is auto, and this one is general merchandise. And May looked like it went up a little bit. So it went down in April. May went up a little bit, and then auto had a big drop in June. A little bit of an increase for X auto, and then a little bit of an increase for general merchandise, but overall it flatlined. All right. So advanced estimates of U.S. retail and food services for sales for June 2024, adjusted for seasonal variation and holiday and trading differences, but not for price changes, were 704.3 billion, virtually unchanged, plus minus 0.5% from the previous month, but up 2.3%, plus or minus 0.5% above June 2023. Total sales for April 2024 through June 2024 period were up 2.5%, plus or minus 0.5%. From the same period a year ago. The April 2024 to May 2024 percent change was revised up from 0.1% plus or minus 0.4% to up 0.3% plus or minus 0.2%. Retail trade sales were down 0.1% from May 2024, but up 2% from above last year. Non-store retailers were up 8.9% from last year, while food and services, drinks, pages were up 4.4%. From June 2023. Let's see if there's anything in here worth looking at. It's the same report. All right, so that's our number for the Commerce Department with the retail sales for June. So pretty much in June, nothing really changed at all. Nothing. It was pretty much stayed flatline. All right. So let's go back to full screen and let's see what Mitch and your car had to say about this report. So Mitch says, it's insane how much control a vendor has on 9 with a bunch of zeros businesses. I'm actually going to record a video about that for next Friday. I'm going to be sharing I'm going to be looking at an article about the CrowdStrike debacle and give my take on it as a senior QA engineer for the past 15 years. On what I think happened and why it probably wasn't caught before they deployed it to everyone to get released. So I'm gonna give my take on it and all that good stuff. All right. So let's see what else we got. All right. So car alarm was going off, and Mitch says, you feel good until about a day or two later. Ain't that the truth?
Bruh.
Have you ever bought something and you felt good buying it and then you never even opened it and like you never even looked at it after? It's crazy. It's crazy. And Mitch says, instant gratification. So instant that after you buy it, oh, cool. And then you never even open the box. And then it just sits around. And then a year later, oh, look at that. Look what I found. And your car says Monopoly? And Mitch says, I don't think anything is wrong with it. Just absolutely insane. It says, it affected my place too. We weren't actually affected by it. And Mitch says, sales can be manipulated too. Of course sales can be manipulated. I'm telling you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And Mitch says, economy is not good. People are just getting tired of every time they do better, something else pops up. So they are using their bill money for things that make them feel good for the moment. No, Mitch, you are wrong. You are wrong, Mitch. I heard that this is the greatest economy that the United States has ever had since its existence. That's what I heard. I'm just repeating what I heard. They said that this is the greatest economy, and because it was trash, they said it was absolutely trash 4 years ago, but then they came in and they turned it into the greatest economy that we've ever seen in the history of the world. Of the world. So that's what I heard. So that's why I'm saying you're wrong. You know. And if you try to say that I'm wrong, then I forgot what I said. All right? I forgot what I said. So, and your car says, I think this is another too big to fail situation. The FTC might look into it as a monopoly. Russia was laughing at us because they don't use Microsoft. That means it's a weakness. So, your car. Here's a question then, right? Can you force, maybe force is not the right word, but like, okay, this affected a bunch of private companies. And if the software is the best for their particular situation, what would the FTC do to say, oh, companies, you can't use Microsoft? Because at the end of the day, it wasn't like it was an operating system. Well, not even, it was a software that affected an operating system. And I'm just trying to see, like, what could you do? Like, is the monopoly on Microsoft? Is the monopoly on CrowdStrike? Or I don't know. It's that one is like hard to see what the FTC could do about that one, because are you going to say, all right, you're like, you guys are forced to use Linux, you guys are forced to use Microsoft? I don't know. That's a tricky one. That is a tricky one. Let's see. It says, but whose fault is that? Not CrowdStrike. Do you know how many more of those companies are out there that they didn't force any of these businesses to use them? I'm sounding like welcome to the dark side, Mitch. Welcome to the dark side. All right. So, I don't know. That's a Mitch says, I'm sick now. Mitch says, I still think it was a cyber attack. My opinion, not a bug. Trust me. I've seen some stuff on my own that you would definitely think it was some type of cyber attack when it was just total incompetence.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Says, yeah, it was when they downed the whole network with an update. And Mitch says, agree to disagree. All right. And your says, actually, wait. Let's disagree that we agree. That's what I'm talking about, your car. There you go. Don't let Mitch take those shots, right? And it says, you never heard of AT&T? I heard about AT&T. Let's see. So that everything can't fail at the same time. All right. Let's see. This means someone got laid off and did it before they left. I don't think so. I really don't think so. As someone who's been in QA, I don't think so. I think that, and the worst, like, here's the worst feeling that you have in the world as a QA person, right? And as a developer to engineer, you have so many different test scenarios. You test. And then when you go to deploy, everything starts to crash because there was a scenario that you were not aware of and it was a total hot mess. I am curious to know the details about where CrowdStrike's, especially the ones that worked on this release, where their developers are located, where their QA are located, where were the tests. I have so many questions that are specifically from a QA point of view and that's why I am attributing it more to incompetence than malice. That's just me, right? Because I could easily see how this can happen. I could easily see how this can happen, all right? Okay, let's jump into our next one. We're going to be looking at the Census Bureau releasing housing indicators, including the preliminary number of building permits issued in June and the number of residential projects that started construction last month. Alrighty, so let's take a look at our Urban Dictionary, and let's see. Okay, what is this Census Bureau housing indicators? Right. So, the Census Bureau is a part of the U.S. government that collects and provides data about people in the economy. One of their reports gives us information about housing indicators. This includes things like how many houses are being built, how many are being sold, and what prices they are selling for. Why is this report important? So, economic health check. Just like with retail goods, housing is a big part of the economy. If lots of houses are being built and sold, it means the economy is doing well. People are confident enough to buy homes and builders are busy working. Jobs. Building houses creates jobs for construction workers, electricians, plumbers, and many other people. Now, a question I have about that is, never mind, I'm not going to ask that question. I'm sure Mitch in your car knows the question I was about to ask, but I am not going to ask that question. All right. So, let's see. So, if more houses are being built, it means more job opportunities. Business decisions. Companies involved in building and selling homes are use this report to make decisions. If they see a lot of new homes being built, they might invest more in construction materials or hire more workers. Investments. Investors look at housing indicators to decide where to put their money. If housing market is strong, they might invest in real estate or companies that build homes. All right. So why the heck should we care about this information? Okay. So even if you're not looking to buy a house or build a house, this report can still affect you. Here's how. Home prices. If many people are buying houses, prices might go up. This can be good if you and your family own a home because it becomes more valuable. Shout out to that. Rent prices. The report can also affect rent prices. If fewer homes are being built, there might be less housing available, which could make renting more expensive. Neighborhood development. If the report shows a lot of new homes are being built, it could mean the new neighborhood and communities are growing, which can bring new schools, parks, and stores to your area. And then economic stability. A healthy housing market is a sign of a strong economy. This stability can make it easier for families to plan for the future, get loans, and feel secure, feeling secure in their jobs. So a strong housing market makes you feel secure in your job? That's debatable. That is debatable, right? So in summary, the Census Bureau's report on housing indicators gives us important information about the housing market, such as how many homes are being built and sold and at what prices. It helps us understand how well the economy is doing, create job opportunities, guides business decisions, and influences investments. Even if you're not directly involved in buying and selling homes, this report can impact things like home and rent prices, neighborhood growth, and overall economic stability. All right. So that is what this report is going to tell us. Let's jump into the report. All right. So we're going to go right here. So new residential construction. So this page, move this out of the way. This page provides national and regional data on the number of new housing units authorized by building permits. Authorized but not started, started, under construction, and completed. The data are for new privately owned housing units, excluding HUD code manufacturing mobile homes. The data are from the Building Permit Survey and from the Survey of Construction, which is partially funded by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Local building permit data may be found on the Building Permit Survey page. All right. So let's get to this latest report. And so new residential construction in June of 2024, building permits issued 1,446 million. What? It's a lot of houses, or a lot of building permits issued. Housing starts. So how many houses have been started to be built? 1,353,000,000 houses being built. Now, I don't know if that's a good number or a bad number, but you know, it's in the millions. And how many houses were completed? 1,710,000 homes completed and sold, or to be sold if they're not sold already. Our next release date is going to be August 16th, 2024 of this data. All right, so let's get into it. Building permits. Privately owned housing units authorized by building permits in June were a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1,446,000. This is 3.4% above the revised May rate of 1,399,000, but is 3.1% below the June 2023 rate of 1,493,000 homes. Single family authorizations in June were at a rate of 934,000. This is 2.3% below the revised May figures of 956,000. Authorizations of units in buildings with 5 units or more were at a rate of 460,000 in June. Housing starts. Privately owned housing starts in June were at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1,353,000. This is 3% above the revised May estimates of 1,314,000, but 4.4% below the June 2023 rate of 1,415,000. Single family housing starts in June were at a rate of 980,000. This is 2.2% below the revised May figures of 1,002,000. The June rate for units in buildings with 5 units or more was 360,000. All right. And lastly, housing completions. Privately owned housing completions in June were at a seasonally adjusted rate of 1,710,000. This is 10.1% above that's nice. Above June 20. All right. So revised May estimate of and 15 point. So this is 10.1% above the revised May estimates of 1,553,000 and is 15.5% above June 2023 rate of 1,480,000. Single family housing completions in June were at a rate of 1,037,000 or 1,037,000. This is 1.8% above the revised May of 1,019,000. The June rate for units in buildings with 5 units or more was 656,000. So shout out to that. All right, and that concludes our housing indicators report. Let's go and see what the chat has to say about this. All right. So Mitch says, not true. Not true. And they are building apartments in townhome communities. Good. And it says, you might feel secure if you're in sales and whatever you're selling is a good market and there's a good market for it. True. And Mitch says, exactly what I said, townhomes and apartments. So if you want me to say this, Mitch, I will say it, all right? Mitch was right. All right. So Mitch was right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. By the way, Mitch, I went back and watched Hulk Hogan's performance the other night, and it was stellar. That was a classic performance. It should go down for the ages. All right, that was a classic. All right. Let's see. Your car says that's a bad number when the market is slow. Too much inventory brings out lower prices and softer markets. Ah, that's a good point. Look at your car being the heartbreak kid. And your car says, which means a lot of taxes are being inquired by the builders. Double.
Bruh.
And your car says single family homes are not profitable right now. That's a fact. And it says due to interest rates and underemployment. Yup. So true. So true. And it says, I don't think single homes were ever really profitable. I get what I get what you're saying, why you're saying that. And Mrs. Performance. I think Trump should win an Emmy. What? Well, hey. I'll just say this though, Mitch. As long as the Emmy acceptance speech is not 92 minutes, then I'm with you on that, right? Maybe for the RNC acceptance speech, but not for the Emmy, right? Not for the Emmy. And your car says, we can agree about that. What? Are you guys agreeing? Your car in Michigan? No, stop the show. I'm going to end it. If Mitch and your car are agreeing for two shows in a row, something ain't right. So it sounds like your car is saying, Mitch, can we disagree to disagree? And Mitch is saying, your car, can we agree to agree? What? Mass pandemonium everywhere. All right, let's get to oh my goodness. We have a fan favorite in the building. Stop the show. We got K Cooper in the building. What's up, K Cooper? How are you doing this lovely Saturday morning? Hopefully you're having a peaceful Saturday. And hopefully you enjoyed your sick day yesterday. I'm just saying, your sick day. Hope all is well. Let's see. All right. Enough of messing around with K Cooper. All right. So we are at the Department of Labor initial jobless claims. All right. So let's go and take a look at, where do I have that? Jobless claims. No, that's not the one I wanted. All right. So I'll break down what the jobless claims are because we review that every week, but I'm going to also add it to our Urban Dictionary. So let's go. Okay, Cooper. It was a great sick day. Great sick day. Hey, more power to you. All right. So let's go over to here. And we're going to be talking about the initial jobless claims for the previous week. So pretty much what that is, it's telling us how many people are applying for unemployment benefits for the first time, initial claims for the first time, because they need some help from mama and papa government because they lost their job. So they might have had they filed for unemployment. They get, a little bit of money every week or two so that they can try to keep the lights on for something, but unemployment, last time I saw unemployment money, it was not a lot of money. Just threw it out. It's not even worth it. So that's what this report is going to tell us. Let's get to it. So we are here, and can we zoom out just a little bit? Zoom in a little bit. That should do it. All right. Anyways, let's go with this. Let's go with this. So, unemployment insurance weekly claims. So, seasonally adjusted data in the week ending of July 13th, the advanced figure for seasonally adjusted claims was 243,000, an increase of 20,000 from the previous week's revised levels. It's hard out here for a. The previous week's level was revised up by 1,000 from 222 to 223, right? And you remember, I just remembered. Oh, so I'm saying, do you guys remember this too? Because I could have sworn I heard it yesterday. The job market is booming. Oh my God, everyone has a job. And then every time we review this, oh, it revised up. Oh, revised up. New initial claims, new initial claims, new initial claims. What gives? What gives? All right. I don't know. All I ever hear was, oh, he lied. He lied. He lied. And then when I read these reports, I'm like, well, you're saying this is the greatest economy. Unemployment is, or employment is through the roof, but we just got to 4.1% unemployment last week. So it says the 4-week moving average is 234,750, an increase of 1,000 from the previous week's revised averages. The previous week's average was revised up by 250 from 233,500 to 233,750. The advanced seasonally adjusted insured unemployment rate. So when we review what the seasonally adjusted means is that some jobs are seasonal, so they take that into account. So like in the wintertime, they're not going to be taking on like lifeguard jobs. So they'll probably like factor those out. And then in the summertime, they're not going to be taking on like, a snow plower job or whatever they call it, whatever, So it says this advanced seasonally adjusted insured unemployment rate was 1.2% for the week ending July 6th, unchanged from the previous week's unrevised rate. The advanced number for seasonally adjusted insured unemployment during the week ending of July 6th was 1,876,000, an increase of 20,000 from the previous week's revised rate. This is the highest level for uninsured employment since November 27, 2021.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So, things are just so fine and dandy, but we are at the highest levels of insured unemployment since November 27th, 2021. What happened in 2021? I'm trying to remember. What? Did something happen in 2021? Like in beginning of the year? And then now we had a high number in November 27, 2021. And now we've got to that again? I'm just thinking. All right. So let's see. The previous week's levels was revised down. Oh, we went down. Finally, we went down. Congratulations. From 1,852,000 to 1,847,000. The 4-week moving average was 1,850,500, an increase of 11,500 from the previous week's revised averages. This is the highest level for this average since December 4th, 2021, when it was 1,859,750. The previous week's average was revised down by 1,250 from 1,840,250 to 1,839,000. All right. So there goes our moving averages for June, so seasonally adjusted claims. So we're here, and in August of last year, we were at like over 250. So, and we're trending in that direction as well. So we'll see how this August plays out. And then the seasonally adjusted insured unemployment in millions, 1.8%. And we're like above, like close to like 1.8 0.85%, like what it's saying up here, or not percent, but numbers. So unadjusted data, right? The advanced number of actual claims under the state program, unadjusted total 279,032 in the week ending July 13th, an increase of 36,824. So it's actually like 37,000 or 15.2% from the previous week. The seasonal factors had expected an increase of 13,840 or 5.7% from the previous week. So we actually, whoa. Did I just, wait. The increase was 36,000, 15.2%. They expected 13,000. What in the, all right. So there were 258,328 initial claims in the comparable week in 2023. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. That is what I call a landslide. There might be landslides all over 2024. I'm just saying. All right. So, let's see. So the unadjusted insured unemployment rate was 1.3% during the week ending of July 6th, an increase of 0.1%, 0.1 percent point from the prior week. The advanced unadjusted level of uninsured unemployment in state programs totaled 1,953,047, an increase of 157,950 or 8.8% from the preceding week. The seasonal factors had expected an increase of 136,664 or 7.6% from the previous week. So it was like off by like 20,000. In earlier year, the rate was 1.3% and the volume was 1,887,928. There goes the charts for that. So it went down a little bit in January, or not even, like it started going down in January, then it took a big dip in May, and then it started to come back up, right? So the total number of continued week claims for benefits in all programs for the week ending of June 29th was 1,818,222, a decrease of 26,954 from the previous week. There were 1,748,044 weekly claims filed for benefits in all programs in the comparable week of 2023. So 2023 seems to be a better year than 2024. No state was triggered on the extended benefits program during the week ending of June 29th. Initial claims for UI benefits filed by former federal civilians employees totaled 321 in the week ending of July 6th, a decrease of 49. There we go. There were 360 claims filed by newly discharged veterans, a decrease of 63 from the preceding week. There were 4,564 continued weeks of claims filed by former federal civilian employees the week ending of June 29th, an increase of 169 from the previous week. Newly discharged veterans claiming benefits totaled 4,374, a decrease of 141 from the prior week. All right. So the highest insured unemployment rates in the week ending of June 29th were New Jersey, always taking the lead. Shout out to New Jersey for being a leader. Rhode Island, California, Minnesota, Puerto Rico, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Washington, Illinois, Nevada, and New York. The largest increases in initial claims for the week ending of July 6th were Michigan with 10,000. Wow. What's going on? Michigan, where's Roxy when you need her? All right. New York at over 5,000. Indiana at almost 3,000. Ohio at 1,604. Tennessee with a little above 1,000. While the largest decreases were California. Shout out to California. I mean, that California number is gonna go very, very high, very, very soon. New York, New Jersey also in the building. Shout out to New Jersey. Georgia, Texas, and Minnesota. All right. So that is our jobless claims data for today. Okay. So we're going to go back to full screen. And I'm going to check the chat, and then we're going to get into the video with Jerome Powell starting at the 17-minute mark as your car indicated, and then we'll take a look at that. All right. So let's see what we've got going on in the chat. So your car says, I called it when he's talking about the revised number. It says they lied. Well, your car, that's why we call the show Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate. They've just been manipulating the whole time, right? And Mitch says that I don't think unemployment money is a lot. I agree, but it's wrong. You work 10 years, etc., and they barely give you anything if you lost your job, etc. Makes no sense to me. What the are you talking about, Mitch? You're saying I don't think so. It's wrong. You work 10 years and they barely give you anything if you lost your job. Wait, who is supposed to give you something? The company or the government? But like if you get laid off, a lot of companies give you a severance, but why? Mitch, what? Oh, Mitch, you're about to make me go put on my other hat. My goodness. This is our money hat right here, right? But for the 10 years that you worked, you got a paycheck. And then we also want them to pay us when we're no longer providing our services to them. So I'm not even going to do it. I'm not even going to do it. All right. I'm not going to do it. So it says, don't forget, most people don't read this data. They just go off what someone says and believe it.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That is very, very true. And that's why we started this show, because we do not want to be those people. We want to be educated. We want to be informed. We want to make wise economic decisions.
Money.
Ooh, I know when I get down to the bottom of the chat, Mitch is going to be going off on me. So I am ready for the party.
Let's get it.
All right. So your car says, so we are back to the vid levels. What? Say it ain't so. And Mitch says, the election is coming. Winter is coming. And your car says, yeah, it doesn't matter this time. The incumbent is out of here. I heard it might be this weekend. We'll see. We shall see. And it says, I just mean after they're going to say the economy is better, you know, it's like under anyone who's in charge, the economy is ever the greatest economy that's ever been, you know. I'm just, if we could go back to 2008, I would love to see what they said about the back then. And it says, Ralph definitely loses focus. Could be worse, right? It could be worse. And it says, why do you pay into unemployment? I don't know. Why do we pay into unemployment? I think we pay into unemployment because it is of that mindset that if something happens to me, it is somebody else's responsibility to take care of me. Mitch, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they told me something that I was just in shock. And I was like, could let you make this type of decision? And honestly, I'm like, I don't believe someone should come and save you. I don't believe people should come and save you. Because you got to learn. You got to learn. All right. So I'm confused. Once again, not your job where all your unemployment money is you're paying into. How much from your check is unemployment? Let me just you know what? Let me just check this real quick, right? How much do you pay into unemployment? Let me see. Let's look at it together. Let's look at it together. Where can we see this? How much do you pay into unemployment? Let me see. How much unemployment only the first 7,000 of wages. So let me see. The taxable wage is based on the first 7,000 paid in wages to each employee during a calendar year. I don't see where it says how much you pay into unemployment. So let's see. Unemployment insurance. Federal state program jointly financed through, let's zoom in on this. Let's see. They pay wages to employees totaling $1,500 or more. So taxes are calculated by multiplying 6 times the employee's taxable wages. The taxable wages are based on the first 7,000 paid in wages to each employee during the calendar year. Employers who pay their state unemployment tax on a timely basis. I don't even see how much you pay into it. But I don't know. I gotta find more. I gotta find more data on that because I don't see it. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out because now you got me curious too. You got me curious too. All right. So it says beefs only pay you a quarter of what you're supposed to get. How much are you supposed to get? Like how much are you supposed to get? Because I don't know. I really don't know. I got one unemployment check in my entire lifetime. Cause I got, I'm like, oh, this is cute. And then I was like, whatever. Right. And then it says, take that statement down. It doesn't make sense. Got me typing angry. My bad. But your car, weigh in your car. I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts on this? Cause, all right, Mitch, how much unemployment should you be paid? I don't know. How much unemployment should be paid by, I guess, the government? And here's a question. Do you think that we should be able to opt out of paying unemployment tax? Do you think that, like, let's say you individually should be able to opt out? You say, you know what? I'm going to bet on Mitch and I don't want to pay unemployment tax because if something was happening to me, I don't want to claim it. I'm just going to figure it out on my own. I am going to invest wisely. I'm going to make the right economic decisions. I'm going to put money away here, and here. So that, and I'm going to build multiple streams of income so that if something happens to me, if I lose my job, then you don't have to worry about it, right? So let's see. Oh, see, your car says you don't even pay into it. So is it the company that pays for your car? Is the employer who pays for but I mean, if the employer pays for it, does that cost get passed along to you? Because if it's like indirectly coming from my check, I'd rather just give it to me now, right? You know what I mean? So let's see. And Mitch says, so Mitch says he doesn't know the answer to that, but he says, but it's not the government, it's your own money. And he says, I do think you should be able to opt out, but your car says you don't pay into unemployment. And Mitch says you don't pay into it. So from what I'm seeing here, it looks like it's the employer who pays for it, not the employee, as part of their, corporate taxes or whatever. But yeah, that's, we're going to do, let me write it down. Where's my AnyDo? Let me put it into my AnyDo. Let's see. AnyDo. And we're going to go to login. And let's look or unemployment tax and insurance. So we'll look into that. All right, so we'll look at that unemployment tax and insurance so we can figure out how this stuff works. Because I am curious to know as well, so that, and it says it's like insurance for the employer. I thought it comes out of your check, Mitch says. Never mind, I learned something. Scratch everything that all right, let's scratch that from the record. Let the record show that this has been stricken from the record. And Mitch says, I can admit when I don't know. This is so much growth from Mitch. We have to give him a round of applause. And this is why I love this show so much. My favorite show of the week, because we get to learn together, and we even we jump off of this and say, oh, you know what? We're gonna do some more research. Just do a deep dive into how the unemployment tax wage, who pays it, and how it's distributed. How do they calculate who should get what? So that's great. That's great. All right. All right, cool. So let's jump into this Fed Chair Jerome Powell video. I might have to fix my positioning of my camera, but let's see. So we're gonna go to this one right here. Hold on, I gotta go to full screen for AR Smitty. What's good, AR Smitty? Salute to you. How are you doing this fine Saturday morning?
I appreciate you.
What's up? I just have to give a proper welcome to my friends when they show up, So I'm I'll be sharing the screen. I'm like, all right, hold on. Let's do it the right way. Let me say hi to my friends, greet them at the door, and not just use the app to unlock the door while I'm in the middle of something. No, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna say welcome, bring them in, let them know where we're at, and then we're gonna continue. All right. So welcome, AR Smitty. Always a blessing to have you with us. All right. So let's get to our video. All right, I'm good. I was muted. All right. So gotta check the settings, right? So let's go to, let me make sure this is gonna play. Let's go to 17-minute mark.
If you're frenzy.
Oh, that's not the right one. Hold on. Where? I thought I had the video. Hold on. Oh, I had it in the other one. Give me a second. Let me pull up the video. Or your car, I have it. Hold on. Let me go to Discord. I had put the video when I was testing out the other laptop, it's Excalibur in Ecamm, and I didn't move it over to this one. Hold on, let me get this right here, and it would be this one right here. Copy link. Okay, so we're gonna come back over here and we're gonna edit that. And All right, there we go. We're going to go to the 17-minute mark. And we are... All right, let's do it.
So, economy is going, or how do you react to the fact that we haven't had a hard landing and disappointed all those economists?
So I'll just say that, as someone famously said, predictions are very difficult, especially about the future. Right? And also, I know a lot of economic forecasters, and forecasters are a humble lot with much to be humble about. It is extremely difficult. Every good forecaster will tell you that it's very, very hard to know what the economy is going to do. To give you a good example, in our Teal book, every FOMC cycle, there's a book that goes out, and there's a baseline forecast in that. And our forecasters are really the top people in the field, and they give you that baseline. They also give you a section in that book which shows 7 or 8 alternative scenarios, which they also regard as plausible. So it's always a probability thing like that. It's like we've identified this one thing. So last year was a big surprise, and it was a big upside surprise. So of course we welcome those. We'd be happy to have more of those. But it just was one of those things where where things turned out much better for a whole variety of reasons. I will say that on the hard landing question, I have always felt like
Going, or how do you react to the fact that we haven't had a hard landing and disappointed all those economists?
So I'll just say that, as someone famously said, predictions are very difficult, especially about the future. Right? And also, I know a lot of economic forecasters, and forecasters are a humble lot with much to be humble about. It is extremely difficult. Every good forecaster will tell you that it's very, very hard to know what the economy is going to do. To give you a good example, in our Teal book, every FOMC cycle, there's a book that goes out, and there's a baseline forecast in that. And our forecasters are really the top people in the field, and they give you that baseline. They also give you a section in that book which shows 7 or 8 alternative scenarios, which they also regard as plausible. So it's always a probability thing like that. It's like we've identified this one thing. So last year was a big surprise, and it was a big upside surprise. So of course we welcome those. We'd be happy to have more of those. But it just was one of those things where where things turned out much better for a whole variety of reasons. I will say that on the hard landing question, I have always felt like that there was a pathway to getting inflation back down to our 2% goal on a sustainable basis without the kind of pain in the labor market, the kind of high unemployment that has been typical of tightening cycles and getting inflation down. And the reason why my colleagues and I thought that was that the labor market was so overheated that it could cool down quite a bit without having to. There still is apparently no slack in the labor market. The labor market does not have slack. Essentially, you're at equilibrium now. But look where inflation is. Inflation's at 2.5%. So this was in defiance of a lot of conventional wisdom, but we thought that was right. And that says that you have to be, one thing you learn is humility in forecasting. But so I wouldn't rule it out. But I would say that the kind of hard landing scenario is certainly not the most likely or a likely scenario.
So you have said you have a target of 2% inflation. You want to get it in sight of 2%. Do you have a similar target for unemployment? If unemployment went to 4%, are you saying, well, that's okay because we don't need to do anything because 4% is tolerable? Or do you have such a similar kind of target as you do with inflation?
So you can't reduce unemployment to a single number because for a couple reasons. First of all, the natural rate of unemployment probably moves through the cycle and over time. Maximum employment is a function of many, many different variables. It doesn't reduce itself to a specific number that would be durable over time. So inflation has 2% inflation some years ago became the global standard that everyone aims for in one way or another.
Some people have suggested that the Fed's independence is not as good as people talk about it being, and that maybe we better have more White House coordination with the Fed. I'm sure you've heard about this.
I think that
any comments on that?
I'd be happy to comment on what independence, on the point of central bank independence. So I think a long time ago, people have learned that a central bank that's independent of political consideration does a better job getting inflation under control. And that is accepted wisdom in all advanced economies around the world. It's also a principle that has very, very strong and broad support where it really matters, which is in Congress. You know, you talk to senior leaders in both chambers, in both political parties, and they all understand that you want an independent central bank that doesn't run monetary policy to support or oppose any particular politician or political party.
Independence is one thing, but
So I have a question. How can you be independent from the person who can hire and fire you? And then they can also put like pressure on you to do what they want you to do as well. Is that like a what's the word? Is that like an appearance of independence, or is that like, because I mean, I don't know. Let me see. Let's see what the chat's saying real quick before we continue. Let's see. Let me see. And yes, he did say no slaves in the labor market. Yakari says Freudian slip. And says that's what makes the most sense. And sense says he just said he doesn't care how the economy is. Ooh, that was loud. Let's see. So Yakari says he is just trying to make the central bank more money.
Money.
Thank you for your patronage.
Just saying. And it says his pockets and his group of friends is rich. That's why. Well, let me ask you a question, Mitch, and your car. Would you want to be in his group of friends? Huh? Would you want to be in his group of friends? I'm just saying. And your car says Janet Yellen needs to be in jail. Probably. What are the charges? I'm just going to do my fair investigative reporting. I am not going to be like those, like the blonde, bald commentators. Blonde and bald is weird, right? But what would be the charges that we would charge Janet Yellen with your car? And Mitch says nope. He would not want to be in his circle of friends. He says that Fed Chair Jerome Powell is outside the circle of trust. And Yakari says no, he would not either. But not for the same reason as Mitch, I guess. Because Mitch didn't say his reason, but Yakari has a reason. He says they do swinger parties and weird stuff because they have too much money. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. And Mitch says Ferris would love it. What state is Ferris in again? He might, I don't know. And Yakari says the charges are lying to Congress, contempt of Congress and lying to Congress. Hey, I'm curious to see what is going to happen with the director of the Secret Service. All right. And anyways, God, I said anyways. Now I'm starting to say anyways like somebody else, right? So AR Smitty says eyes wide shut.
Bruh.
It's real out here. It is real out here, right? So, any other timestamps your car? You just want me to let it play? I'm going to play it for now, but if your car has a different timestamp, then we'll look at that. But we shall go with that, all right?
But you still have some information sharing. So how do you coordinate or share information with the administration? Do you regularly meet with the Secretary of Treasury or White House staff people, or how do you communicate with them?
So there's a very standard set of relationships which doesn't change at all, administration to administration, and I'll start anywhere, but Council of Economic Advisors is in the White House. We have lunch with them every month or so, although they get canceled sometimes because we're all busy. That's one thing. I have breakfast with the Secretary of the Treasury every week, unless she's traveling or I'm traveling. I have, since there was a National Economic Council, there's been a regular / sometimes irregular breakfast with the head of the NEC, and I do that too.
Do you ever get a call from the President of the United States saying interest rates are too high or something like that?
So, ever? No, I would say that, meetings with the President are rare and appropriately so.
Okay. So you were originally appointed to the board of the Fed by President Obama, yes. And you're appointed chair by President Trump and reappointed by President Biden. And your term as chair goes through, I think, May of 2026. That's right. So any thought about staying all the way through May 2026? You're going to do that?
Yes.
Okay. And if some president came along and said, well, you did a great job, I'd like you to reappoint you, would you consider that?
I have nothing for you on that today.
Okay. All right. And is being chair of the Fed a enjoyable job or not so much?
It is, actually. I think I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a bit. I do. First of all, it's a great honor. It's incredibly interesting. I love the people we work with. I love the institution. At this time in my life, it's just been a great thing. I'm in my 13th year there now, and it's been really challenging and all that. But what else would you want? I'm very happy doing the job.
So you're obviously in pretty good shape. How do you stay in shape? Do you walk a lot, or you ride bikes, or what do you do?
Yes, I do those things. I swim, I ride my bike, I go to the gym a lot. I try to stay fit, as you will remember from our days together.
Right.
I don't really care how Jerome Powell stays in shape. Thoughts. Okay, let's see what the thoughts are. And we got my guy in the building, Junior, by his grace dispatching. I know what, a little full screen. By his grace dispatching. What's good, Junior? How are you doing today? Says, what's up? What's up? What's up, family? What's going on with you? How is your Saturday? This lovely Saturday morning going for you? And let's see. So Mitch says, you're right. It's low on computer, but not on the phone. Interesting. That's interesting. Let's see. We have Mitch says, get him out of there. You are out. This what Mitch says this. Mitch says this, right? Mitch says this.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
I have a question, though. I have a question. Mitch, would you ever take the job as the Fed chair? You to your car. Would you ever take the job as the Fed chair to set the interest rates and the economic policy, or not the economic policy, but like whatever it is that they do? Would you, or at least be on the board? Curious. I am curious. And Mitch says side deals. Side deals? Oh my God. And your car says, see, my computer audio is low. Let's see. And Mitch says, I don't think it was your audio. Mine was the same that time on Ferris, and y'all were making fun of me. And it says, these people do the wildest things. The frat and sorority days never stop for them. They said we never stop having a good time. And let's see. Mitch says he would be the Fed chair because Mitch says no days off. No days off. No days off for Mitch, all right? And Yakar said he would do it as well. Shout out to. And Mitch says the voice of the people. All right, I got you, Mitch. The voice of the people. And says Ralph be speed dialing me, Mitch. What's your problem? And your car says with all due respect, the Fed Reserve. Okay, tell us how you really feel, your car. Tell us how you really feel. All right, let's see. Is there any he's getting into they're getting into some nonsense, your car. Any other parts of it that stood out to you? Any other parts that stood out to you in that video that we need to go back to, or you think we're good with that? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Let's see here. Awesome. Okay, let's give that. I don't know. Anything else? I wonder. He is about to change. All right, cool. He's about to change. All right, cool. Let's get back to it. Let's go to. He only asked that to break up all. All right, cool. I got you. Let's go to.
So do you rely on these economists?
We're over here.
Are rare and appropriately so.
Okay. So you were originally appointed to the board of the Fed by President Obama.
Yes.
And get out of the way, or do you have?
And those may or may not have changed, but nonetheless, I look at where we are now. Our funds rate is
fourth every FOMC meeting. Is that a fair summary?
That wouldn't be a great outcome, but we don't want to be too risk averse. I think we want to, and I think instinctively, I can't prove this. We're going to learn that is what caused that, and are historically unusual from the standpoint that institution. At this time in my life, it's just been a great thing. I'm in my 13th.
So we got that already.
I swim, I ride my bike, I go to say. Nobody knows you with a bike helmet. And
said somewhere that when the Fed does lower interest, so I think
helmet and goggles on, you're just another person on the road.
So I think you have said somewhere that when the Fed does lower interest rates, not saying that you're saying it's going to do that, but if the Fed does lower interest rates at some point, you didn't think it was ever going to go back to kind of the free money practically of years ago when interest rates are almost zero. Is that a fair statement, that you don't think it's a good idea to go back to interest rates as low as they once were?
The period between the global financial crisis and the pandemic was historically unusual from the standpoint that we had ever lower interest rates through that era, including part of the era when, for example, sovereign debt of major European sovereigns was trading at a significantly negative rate. And so that was quite unusual. And still, even with rates that low, inflation was very low, below target. So the question is what caused that, and are the forces that caused that gone for now? And I think most people attribute the low inflation era to slow-moving forces like demographics, globalization, technological evolution, things like that. And those may or may not have changed. But nonetheless, I look at where we are now. Our funds rate is 5.3%, roughly, give or take. And it feels like it's restrictive, but not severely restrictive. So it tells me that rates, at least for now, the neutral rate must have risen, probably has risen from where it was during the inter-crisis period. And I think instinctively, I can't prove this. We're going to learn about this empirically, but it seems to me that the neutral rate is probably higher than it was during the inter-crisis period, and so rates will be higher.
So the Federal Reserve, without saying you're going to lower interest rates at this point, if you did lower interest rates at some time, I thought you had said you didn't want to lower interest rates and then maybe say, well, maybe we made a mistake and we're going to increase them again. You want to have a policy that's fairly consistent for a while. In other words, lower interest rates but not bounce back and forth every FOMC meeting. Is that a fair summary?
That wouldn't be a great outcome, but we don't want to be too risk averse. I think we want to, we know that the economy is unpredictable, and the test we've set is we want to have greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably down to 2%, or alternatively, if we see unexpected weakening in the labor market, or some combination of those two. And when we see that, and the data really show that, and that's reflected in our confidence and our understanding, then it'll be time for us to move. And we won't worry. Of course, it wouldn't be great if you were moving up and down quite a bit. That wouldn't be ideal.
Some of your predecessors used to speak in what I call Fed speak, which is to say incomprehensible to the average person. You try to actually explain things. Is that because you're not an economist, or you just like to explain things better because you actually sort of explain what you're likely to do at the Fed and then you actually explain afterwards? Does that upset a lot of people at the Fed that you actually try to put it in English?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think that the person who is interviewing him is like asking him questions to make him feel good, or like, I don't know, that question right there about like, why do you explain things the way that you do? I don't know. This interview is kind of, I don't know. Maybe that was the intention of this interview, but your card says, yes, softball questions. like don't get me wrong. I don't think that interviews should be contentious or something like that. But you can also ask. You can ask tough questions, but also have a friendly interview. It's not like you're going on to one of these news stations to fight with people. But you can also ask some deep, tough questions that is going to garner a deep thoughted explanation. But it's like, the way that you explain stuff, and it's like the question. Your card. Do you remember this question from like 4 years ago? So, it would be like, so what's your favorite ice cream? Like, what? Like, what? I'm just saying, right? Let's see. All right, let's see.
No, as you know, I enjoy communicating with people, and I didn't have a career as an academic economist. I'm not a trained economist, so I don't speak like one. And that I do hear a lot from, for example, people on Capitol Hill that they really appreciate that they can understand what I'm saying.
So today, the ECB lowered their interest rates recently. So why do you think the ECB lowered interest rates before the Federal Reserve? Their economy is weaker than ours, or what?
Yeah, so they're different. There are differences if you look around the world, and the big difference between the United States and many other nations is just that our economy has been so much stronger. Europe went through, the European Union went through significant Eurozone, a significant period of very, very low growth, while we were growing, 3% plus last year. So we're in a different place. And actually, what's more remarkable about the current situation is how much there is in common between what happened. Inflation broke out everywhere. Central banks did kind of very similar things. There's little differences in timing in terms of starting to loosen policy, but really the era, I think, will be known much more for its commonalities than it is for its differences like this.
So when the FOMC makes a decision, let's say to increase rates or lower rates, they finish their final meeting, you are authorized then to go out and explain what it is. How long before after the meeting ends before you go out and publicly explain it? Is it 20 minutes or so?
It's 3 or 4 hours usually.
3 or 4 hours?
Yes, because the meeting might end at, I'm out at 2:30 p.m. That's when the press conference starts at 2:30, so I'm usually the meeting's over by 11.
And you don't worry that things will leak out in that interim period of time, I assume?
No, I don't.
Okay.
People know better than that, I think. And
so in some parts of the
Yakari, that sounded like a threat right there. That sounded. He's like, people know better. He's like, yeah, you're not going to be leaking out any information because you will get got. Don't let me find out that Jerome Powell been watching The Wire. His favorite was Marlo. Just saying. I'm just saying that was like a little threat right there. He's like, don't be that. Don't be that guy. All right. Let's see here. He basically said they can keep making money from the US dollar from interest because our economy is strong. What? Is that what he said? He said our economy is strong. Look, maybe he agrees that this is the best economy that we've ever had in the entire universe, galaxy, maybe galaxy. And your car said facts. Like that was pretty gangster. I mean, I know you guys don't like him, but that was pretty. He's like, like, test me if you will. Test me if you will. Your car says, Fed Reserve equals the bankers, the real gangsters. AR Smitty's like, oh yeah, we don't want them. We do not want them problems. And we got in the building Melvin Johnson. What's up, Melvin? Says good morning, bag. Chase, good morning to you as well. Hopefully you're having an amazing Saturday morning. Let's see. All right, let's keep going with this because I just had to pause for that shot. I'm like, oh, he has his people in check. Like Busta Rhymes says, I got you all in check. Woo ha.
The society these days, people are making decisions based on something called artificial intelligence, AI. Have you thought about, calling up ChatGPT and saying, here's all the data we have. What do you think about would be a good idea? Have you ever thought about that, or they're not going to like you to do that?
we haven't done that. I mean, we have done little things like we've asked ChatGPT to generate questions for the press conference. And I'm happy to report for any journalists who are here that the questions were not as good as the ones we get from real journalists. So,
what about my questions? How do they compare to my questions?
We know that's a lie. We know that's a lie. I would trust the ChatGPT questions all day over those journalists. I mean, I'm just saying, because I'm like, I'll tell you this, right? When we're reviewing what these, like, after these debates and stuff like that, when the journalists ask, all right, let's put it like this. In second grade, I learned that when you're trying to figure something out, you ask who, what, when, where, why, how. And the journalist would be like, let me just put it something. So the journalist would be like, so what do you think about this? And they'd be like, and the person they're talking to says, oh, they lied. And then I'm like, all right, can you tell us what was the lie, who they lied about, or who they lied about? When was the lie? Like, when was the lie? How did they lie? And you don't even hear it. Like, it's like they just let someone say something and then it's just, all right, let's move on. I'm like, what in the world?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'm like, man, you guys are wild. Like, and I know ChatGPT will give you all the points you need to cover in your questions, all right? Because he's just trying to get easy questions. He's just trying to get easy questions. That's all, right? And so Mitch says, put us in the game, coach. Put us in the game, coach. I'm with it. And Melvin says, facts. It's levels to the big boy money game. People don't even think on that level they are speaking on.
We the best.
That's a fact. And let's see. AR Smitty says context matters. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. All right. Let's keep going.
Okay, no comment. So they weren't that great. Okay. So today, at the Federal Reserve Board, you are not involved in picking anybody who's on the Federal Reserve Board. The president makes those decisions. Do they ever call you for advice on who you might pick or they might pick?
It has happened, but it's, I would say, not the norm now.
Okay.
The Reserve Bank presidents are different. You know, we play a role with the search committees from the Reserve Banks on that.
So every summer there's a meeting of the Federal Reserve people out in Jackson Hole. What do you all do out there? I mean, I always wonder, you wear cowboy boots, you go on ride horses. What do you all do? Why do you need to go to Jackson Hole? Why not go to, you know, someplace closer than to Washington, D.C., Baltimore like?
Cowboy boots are worn by some, but not all. I don't wear them myself.
All right, we're going to jump past this part. Let's see.
They present their paper, people critique it. You come to Jackson to write papers about that topic, and then they'll find, you know, really top economists to write papers about that topic or more than one topic. You come to Jackson Hole, they present their paper, people critique it, they praise it, and that kind of thing, and that's the mornings. And in the afternoon, people go take a hike, and let me be clear, this is not a rate hike, it's an actual physical hike.
But you usually make a speech out there, I think.
Yes.
Every year.
That's you know, traditionally, not every. I've done this every year, but not every Fed chair has done it every year. But I give the opening speech, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with the topic of the conference. I just give a speech.
And is it carefully worked on by the staff? You make sure you say something that sounds interesting, but you don't make any news?
No, actually. So I try to do, you know. Typically, what I do is I talk about the, you know, it's really focused on the economic outlook and that kind of thing at any given point in time. At Jackson Hole, I've tried to take a step back or move to a higher level and try to say things that have a little more general.
All right, so what are your thoughts on economists? I mean, all the jokes are horrible, but what are your thoughts on economists, right? What are your thoughts on majoring in finance and on economists, right? Because, yeah, let's just go with that. What are your thoughts? I'm going to read the chat while you share your thoughts. Your car, Mitch, Melvin, AR Smitty, whoever's watching. Let me know your thoughts on economists and let me know your thoughts on economists as a whole, right? So let's go through the chat real quick. So, Mitch says he knows if he steps down, he won't be protected anymore. That's why he's trying to stay on until 2026. But Mitch, he can get fired though, right? Like he can get fired, or I don't know, because although they might be appointed or hired for X amount of terms. Like James Comey, when he got fired, right? He got fired on like Twitter or something like that. Imagine that. Imagine firing the director of the FBI via Twitter. I'm just saying. And Melvin Johnson says, I'm back to back 15-hour days trying to run these numbers up. So Melvin Johnson is saying this. He says, No days off. No days off. Let's run it up. All right. So, your car says that was a horrible, horrible joke.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And your car says, get a. Oh.
It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Damn. Just come out of nowhere and tell you gotta go. You gotta go, all right? But your car says, let's go to full screen. Your car says, get a real job. And it says, yeah, reassigned. Resigned or reassigned? only Trump can fire him.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
I mean, it says that's why he said he hasn't thought about it yet. And I realized what you said. That lady is 77. You said lock her up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's interesting though, right, Mitch? Because when you think about it, that was a slogan in like 2 elections. Well, I guess 3. I guess now, or 3 election cycles ago. The chat was lock the person up, but then it was only in the recent administration. So it's like only in the recent administration they've actually been trying to lock someone up. What gives? Ain't that make that make sense? Make that make sense. They said, why didn't you do it? Oh, because, I was trying to bring the country together. I didn't want to like go into this whole political persecution. It was all campaign fun and jokes and stuff. I'm trying to lock no old lady up. But then the tables turned. The tables turned. And they were like, oh, how about we actually lock this person up, right? And then they say, but if we fail, please, we beg you, don't come seeking payback. I'm like, what? Man, they're a better person than me. I'll tell you that. They are a better person than me, because I would have said, I am going to go scorch earth on you mother earth. I'm just saying, all right? Anyways, as we were told, we got to wrap it up. Right? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate all the love and support for my favorite show of the week. You would think my favorite show of the week is a tech show, but no, it is the Men Lie, Women Lie, Numbers Manipulate show, where we just finished reviewing our weekly economic numbers, as well as what Fed Chair Powell said on the state of the economy. All right. So let's check real quick what Melvin says before we head out. Says, I definitely think they are smart with money more than the majority of people, but in reality, they just people and making huge money mistakes. Playing the finesse game until they get caught. It's like that. And shout out to my guy Junior by his grace dispatching. And on that note, you guys know, before we wrap up any show, we just have to ask the question. What is that question? The question is, of course,
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I had a great time. I had such a great time hanging out with my friends, talking about the weekly economic numbers. We reviewed what did we review today? We spoke about the retail sales report. We spoke about the housing indicators, and we went over the initial jobless claims, as well as what the remarks were of Fed Chair Jerome Powell. So with that being said, with all this information that we just spit today, you guys know yesterday's price is not today's price. Today's price is not tomorrow's price, because
one more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is going up. And if you like this no days off shirt, because I take no days off, click on the link in the video description. It should be pinned to the video as well. Go check out all the other stuff in the store, all that good stuff, because we will run it up, because we don't take any days off. We are engineered to win. But on that note, you guys have an amazing, amazing Saturday. Your car, we will connect later on for our Bag Chasers Discord call. And we're going to continue to run it up, because we do not believe, we barely believe in sleep. We barely believe in sleep. All right. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.